Well, we're here with Councillor Pete Pearson, who is an unofficial ambassador for the Operation Lifesaver program, and we're here talking about Rail Safety Week, which this year is September 19th, starting today, to the 25th. Why did they create this Rail Safety Week? What's the purpose?
Rail Safety Week for Operation Lifesaver was created to bring awareness. Obviously, rail safety is important every day of the year, but by having a focused week to recognize it and do public awareness campaigns all across North America, just to bring it more to light, was very important. So it's a North American initiative with all three countries, Mexico, United States and Canada, taking part.
That's great. And safety is a big thing. I read on the website. Can you tell me the number of accidents or fatalities from rail safety accidents or trespassing?
Well, right now the average is about 100 a year in Canada alone of rail safety accidents and trespass deaths and severe injuries.
And almost all of those would be preventable, right?
Every accident is preventable. People have to be aware that any time is train time, and if you're on the railway tracks, you are trespassing. So,
Right. So tell me a little bit about how you get this message out. Obviously, adults are one thing, and we're going to do the educational process here, but what kinds of things does Operation Lifesaver and yourself, what kind of things do you do to get the message out?
A lot of it is, social media is huge right now, is with regular posting, some signage. We've put rail decals on both crossings here in town on both approaches on the Bigfoot Trail with the look, listen, and live message. So people tend to walk looking at their cell phones, so you're looking down, and maybe this will bring your attention that you're approaching a crossing and I'm hoping to do rail safety programs through the elementary schools just to bring awareness about trains and train safety. Right.
Oh, that would be a great thing. So one of the things that Valemount, since I've been here, is kind of famous for, and for much longer, is unfortunately trespassing. Even where we're standing here on 5th Avenue, just to the north of us here is a rather notorious trespassing crossway. What's the danger in that kind of thing?
A huge danger nowadays is people tend to travel and walk with earbuds or headphones in. Really takes away your awareness of your surroundings. This piece of track through Valemount is one of the faster pieces of track in the area, and it's 50 mile an hour speed for trains, and trains can sneak up on you. They don't always make as much noise as you expect, and so I think that's the biggest thing is to make people aware that they can catch you off guard. So, right. Stay off the track.
Everyone thinks, oh, I can see a train, I can hear a train. We're running all this week for Rail Safety Week. We're running a series of 3 videos provided by Operation Lifesaver. They're stories of families of people who have been killed, or friends of people who have been killed, because they thought, the people who were on the tracks thought, oh, I can see them a mile away, I can hear them a mile away, right? Yeah. But it's not always the case, right?
No. Yeah, and especially with the passenger trains, we have both the Via Rail passenger train and the Rocky Mountain that goes through, and those are both significantly higher speed trains, and they travel quietly. So yeah, you can easily be caught off guard.
Right. "50 miles an hour. So a train going 50 miles an hour, how long would it take to stop a train going 50 miles an hour? would you guesstimate?
2 miles.
2 miles.
2 miles. If they're going full track speed and had to do an emergency stop, it would probably take close to 2 miles.
Right.
And the implications of having to do an emergency stop at speed is always the potential for a derailment. I mean, things bunch up in the middle. I mean, it's like trying to push a chain up a hill. I mean, it's going to go where it wants to go. So
Yeah, absolutely. And so for people who are crossing the tracks, what are the basic safety rules for crossing a railroad track at an approved crossing?
Basically stop, look, and listen. If the lights are flashing and the gates are on the way down, don't try to beat them. If the gates are down, stop and wait. We're very fortunate that in the last year, our crossings have been equipped with gates. So that is a big safety bonus to slow traffic down. So yeah, it's basically, expect a train at any time. We're also fortunate it's single track, so we don't have to worry about, passing trains and stuff like that. But yeah, stop, look, and listen.
I have seen in my time before the crossing arms went, many people racing the trains here just to get across. They don't want to get stuck behind a train, a very dangerous situation to do. Now with the crossing arms, of course, we get a little more safety. What's the kind of the rule for where you should stop at a crossing arm? I've seen people 4 car lengths back. I've seen people with their bumpers almost touching the crossing arm. Is there a recommended place for people to safely stop?
The gate comes down at a clearance point, so the safest point would, to give yourself a little bit of room in case something comes up behind you unexpectedly. So, much like at a regular intersection, you should be able to see the tires of the vehicle in front of you. And I would give a car length to the gate, just as a safety factor. If somebody's coming up behind you, gives you a little bit of flexibility to move ahead.
Right. And Valemount has a lot of trailers, a lot of visitors here in the summertime, a lot of trucks, larger trucks. And we were talking earlier about this corner here on the corner of 5th Avenue and Main Street. There's a particularly tricky situation because the yield sign on the other side of the tracks is very close to the actual tracks here. So if you had a long vehicle, you could potentially have your back end of your vehicle over the tracks.
Yeah.
And not be able to know that a train was coming or whatever the case might be, right? So
yeah.
It's a tricky situation here, and I see a lot of pedestrians. We have some right now that are crossing the tracks here, and everybody has to just be much more aware, I think.
And the other factor in our community, because mountain biking is so popular, is bike safety over crossings, because it's very easy. Rails are slippery, and you've got a flangeway on either side, which is a gap that, very easy in slippery conditions, you could turn a wheel and go down. So in a perfect world is, an approach on a bike safely and be prepared for that kind of action.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of the events that are planned for Rail Safety Week? Do you know of some of the events that are going on?
Internationally, through Rail Safety Week, there's presentations. On September 20th, there's a program called Operation Clear Track, where police departments and detachments will put officers at crossings and do public awareness campaigns to just, emphasize rail safety and crossing safety. So that's kind of the big one that people would see mostly in the community.
Right. And for people who want more information, where would they go? What's the website?
Now you got me on that one. I believe it's
OperationLifesaver.ca?
I believe it is OperationLifesaver.ca.
We'll post it on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anything else you wanted to mention that we haven't talked about in terms of rail safety?
No, I just, want to appreciate the efforts in the community, to support us with what VCTV is, in programming the Operation Lifesaver ads and public safety announcements and stuff like that is huge to get the word out. So
great. Well, let's just hope everybody pays attention and practices better rail safety.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you.